Hmm.
So, from your insider perspective, what do people or families misunderstand about how technology is intentionally designed to shape our attention and our habits?
Great question. Um, I think people know a lot more now than they
Hmm.
did 5 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, certainly people didn't know that like companies were hiring the same kinds of designers that designed, video gambling terminals
Right.
for app design, and right. So I think the notion of dark patterns, on websites where buttons are the wrong color, they're hidden. I think people are more aware of that now.
Hmm.
I think, even years ago, online surveys, people thought they were just having fun and
Right.
realized there was just like, I think people are a little more aware now that this is like advanced profiling, especially with AI.
Yeah.
I think even parents are more aware now about, the harvesting that's going on sites like Roblox.
Hmm.
Maybe that's my community that's more aware of that, But I
Yeah.
feel like with everything in the news, I think there is a lot of overconfidence in people's ability to differentiate between AI or produced imagery and content and real imagery,
Yes. Yes.
especially among young people and teens that think they've got the nose for it
Hmm.
because they were raised on it. And, you've seen so much Instagram over the last 2 years, you can recognize the slop, but, but it's getting way better.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I think the piece that people are truly not aware of is how many bots there are out there and how much of the conversation, either in the news feeds or your algorithm or content, truly is coming, might present itself as coming from a US or North American source, and maybe it has a partisan or political or
Mhm.
what have you point of view. And so much of this is, by bot farms, by bot networks, can come from overseas. I think just people don't recognize that.
Yeah.
And I think also, you know, people don't recognize the mental harm that comes from just seeing that same ad about your body or about skincare that, every day for 3 years, and wondering why like teen girls are so into Sephora, or like, middle-aged men are all of a sudden know so much about Tai Chi,
Hmm.
if you know what I'm saying, which you might not know about middle-aged men and Tai Chi because you don't see those ads.
Yeah, it's they're very targeted specifically.
Everything's very specifically targeted.
Yeah, I actually just saw a stat about the bots recently. It was
Yeah.
something like over 30, almost 40% of social media engagement is not real people. So it's, and I'm sure it's higher than that. That's just what was
I
something.
heard 70.
70%? Okay.
I've heard 70. But it's
And
hard, it's hard to know. I mean, you see pictures even of the online poker gaming farms where there will be like six computers
yeah.
playing a hand with a human.
Hmm.
So if you're addicted or involved with online gambling and you're playing those games, you're very likely getting fleeced. That you're not playing against real people, even if you think you are.
Right. Yeah. I think the rise of AI and the AI content too, I don't think people are realizing, and honestly, we really don't know what the future is going to look like with that. But I don't think people realize it um, from a social media perspective of scrolling. And some people laugh like, "Oh, that's obviously AI." Like that's not. But more and more, it's getting more realistic, and it is really hard for people to tell the difference. I don't think there's also enough. Um, really enough like parameters around it. It's kind of like within these apps, there's so much AI content that's being shared that's not even, I mean, there's you can opt to tag your content if you used AI. And then I know there are platforms coming out that are like the whole platform is going to be AI focused. But when you have these platforms that were at one point, I think initially a sense of community, and it was supposed to be so that you could see photos of your friends and your family and you could connect with people online. It is now, social media has become so different, and it's become so like each piece of content now falls within the algorithm in some place, and your feed is not your friends and your family anymore. Your feed
No,
is
it
what
hasn't been for a long
going
time.
on. Yeah. Yeah. And I think for families and for parents and it just, as time has changed, I think that that also plays into why people are not feeling as connected on social media anymore, and why people are looking to do things like step away from it or to set up some sort of guidelines around it, because it just feels draining. It feels like you're just absorbing content that
Yeah.
is purposely designed for you based on, like you said, all the data that they've gathered on you so
Yeah.
far.